All right, all right, all right. So we're talking about how now is not the time to throw in the towel. So here is the thing, though. Before I get started, just to give you a little update on myself, some of you guys may have heard I had a little health scare, but all is well, all is fine. This past Sunday, I think it was, maybe 2 weeks ago now, my wife actually took me to the ER, took me to the hospital on Sunday. I was fighting some dizzy spells and feeling nauseated and just extremely weak. This went on for about a week, and even now I'm still, dealing with a little bit of fatigue, but I'm getting better. So waiting on some blood work results to come back, but all is well. All right, I do appreciate you guys sending out the prayers and letting me know that that you guys have some love for me. All right, so I definitely appreciate that. But all is well. As of right now, the only thing that the doctor reported was that my white blood cell count was a little high, which is possibly an indication that my body was trying to fight off some form of a virus, but he wasn't able to determine what that was just yet. So we're just waiting on some things to come back, but rest assured, I'm doing better. All right, I am doing better. Of course, I'm not at 100%, but I am doing better. I give you about an 89% right now, but I'm here. All right, so as you're jumping on, go ahead and announce yourself, and we will get started here in just about 60 seconds. I want to make sure I have everything together for you. Me, how you doing? I see you. Hey, listen, tag your friends, tag your family, tag everybody, because the information I'm going to share, although I made it available to the group, feel free to expose this or share this, with anyone, because it's some information that I believe can help a lot of people. All right, so we'll get started here in just about 30 seconds now. Okay, 1 second. Yes indeed, Mimi Bigelow the Magnificent. Of course you are. Absolutely, you are definitely a leader, my friend, and we appreciate you for everything that you and Nate do. The tenacity, the grit, the perseverance that you guys have in the ups and the downs, and we talk, and you guys are definitely some tremendous leaders. So we thank you for your leadership and your commitment, and what you do for your organization. So keep doing what you're doing. You are absolutely phenomenal. So here is the deal. Okay, now is not the time to throw in the towel. Let me say this. The recent health scare that I had, and I'm calling it a health scare. I don't know what else to call it. I guess the recent situation, I don't know. But the recent situation that I had with my health, it created on the inside of me a brand new fire that even I don't believe I've ever seen before. And it's hard for me to sleep at night because I'm always thinking on a whole nother level now. And I just want to share a concept with you guys. And maybe this is going to help somebody to get over that bump, get over that hurdle that you may be dealing with right now. And I wanted to just make sure that I come on here and just share this information with you. Okay, so here's the deal. Some of you guys are going through a stage right now where you're ready to quit. You're ready to throw in the towel. You're ready to say, you know what, I've done everything that I know to do and nothing seems to be working for me right now. And I want to encourage you if you're in that place right now, because I want you to understand that that place is normal, right? Like, the thing is, if you're not going through that place, that means you're not really moving towards something. Okay, it's no different than the individual that is being ridiculed and being talked about on a consistent basis. Usually when that individual is the topic of discussion in a variety of people's mouths, then that means that person could very well be doing something that the other individuals envy. So look at this as a good time. Like the book of James says this. It says, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, right? Another translation says when you fall or when you bump into situations, right? So here's the deal. Count it all joy. Get excited when you're going through these troubling times. Why? Because it says that the trying of your faith worketh patience, right? But let patience have his perfect work, that you may be perfect, entire, wanting nothing. Okay, let me say that again. Let patience have his perfect work, that you may be perfect, entire, wanting nothing. And so you got to get excited during this time. It's not time to throw in the towel, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to actually put more gas to the pedal. It's time to actually decide that you're going to go from where you are and go to a whole nother level. And the best way that I can depict this for you is some of you guys know that I ran track in high school. Now, don't put me on the track today. I'll probably fall over and collapse. But I ran track in high school, and one of the things that always struck me was I was a quarter miler, right? You know, my little 5'4" self, I was a quarter miler, and it was very competitive in that race, right? It was competitive. And one of the things that I remember is how people would say there's no way that that little guy is going to beat so-and-so, or no way that that little guy is going to be able to compete. And it wasn't until I actually got on the track and I actually put forth the effort and did what I trained to do, where I began to just shut down all spectators, shut down all haters. Like, I'm going somewhere with this. So if you're taking notes, I'm telling you, you want to write this down, okay? Listen, when I ran track, my coach trained me in a way that was unique to any other runner. I don't know to this day any other runner that has actually done this, but one of the things that he conditioned me to do, and he conditioned my body to do, is that when I was in the blocks, before that gun went off, before the starter would actually shoot the gun to start the race, when I was in the blocks, he trained me to hold my breath when I was in the blocks, okay? He trained me to hold my breath. Now, what this did for me was mentally, it put me in a place where it was just me on the track. There were no other runners in my mind on that track. It was just me, okay? Now, and what that allowed me to do was block out everybody else that could have potentially been a distraction. Some of you guys right now are not seeing movement in whatever it is, whatever your goal is right now. Some of you guys are not seeing movement because you're distracted by any and everything that comes your way. It's like the movie, the Disney movie, where the dog kept seeing things and he just yelled out, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Like, everybody is a squirrel. Everything is a squirrel. And so you have to make a decision that you're going to have these blinders on right now, because if you're going to go to a whole nother level, you have to have on the blinders. I'm telling you right now, I have on some blinders that like it's dangerous for a person to step in my view right now, because like a laser beam, I'm literally going to chop you in half with my focus. And so I want to share the same concept with you, and this is how it came about, okay? So when I was running track, all right, when I was running track, let's just say that this is the track, okay? When I was running track, then obviously on every track there is a starting point, okay? There's a starting point on every track. Absolutely, evidently there's a starting point on every track. So this is your start, okay? Now, what I would do then is, again, I would hold my breath during this portion of the race. Before the race even got started, I'm holding my breath. And so once the gun went off, what happened was, obviously, I'm going around the first curve, okay? And this is where some of you guys are in your business. You're just going around the first curve, okay? You're just going around the first curve. You're doing the things that you need to do. You're plugging into the system, but you're not seeing the results. Or maybe you have a goal in mind and you're doing all the things that you've written down in order to make that goal come to pass, but you're just not getting the results. And I'm about to show you why you're not getting the results just yet, okay? So what would happen then is, while other runners were running alongside of me on that track, what I'm doing is I'm still holding my breath around this first curve, okay? So here's the first curve, and I'm holding my breath around this first curve. Now, psychologically, everybody else is focusing on this finish line. Okay, everybody else is focusing on this finish line. However, with me, I'm focusing on this backstretch, and I'm going to share with you in a second why I'm focusing on this backstretch. See, some of you guys are right now, you're focusing on what everybody else is focusing on, and you're getting the results that everybody else is getting at the same time, because you're not focused on your lane. See, in track, anytime we ran outside of our lane, that was a automatic disqualification. Let me say this again. Every time that we ran on that track, at any point that we ran outside of our lane, it was considered a disqualification. No matter how hard you trained, no matter how hard you ran and you worked out until you couldn't move anymore, if you crossed the line, it's an automatic disqualification. If you jumped the gun before the starter actually hit the gun, you would be automatically disqualified. It didn't matter how much you trained. It didn't matter how often you built yourself up for this race. You made one violation and you got immediately disqualified. And that's where some of us are right now, is that we've crossed over into someone else's lane and we're expecting the results that someone else has gotten. But what they don't tell you is that while you are focusing on this curve like everybody else, you have someone that's focusing on this, what we call the backstretch. All right. And in this backstretch, this is where I became a dangerous man. This is where I became absolutely insane on this track, because here's what was happening on this backstretch. While everyone else was giving everything they had to get a jump on the next man, what was happening was that they were becoming very fatigued and tired in this area right here of the backstretch. Everybody was getting tired on the backstretch. They're doing everything that the coach told them to do, right? Their form is on point, but their breathing may be off. Or maybe their breathing is on point and their form is off, and it's messing with their race, okay? I'm looking at this as I'm running. Ladies and gentlemen, don't miss this. I am looking at this as I'm running, and I'm watching the people get tired. I'm watching, like, psychologically, I'm on you. Oh, man. Listen, psychologically, I'm on you because I'm watching this while you're still focusing here. And so by the time you get here, you've already expended 3/4 of your energy. Now, let's go back for a second. Remember, I told you that I would hold my breath from this point, and I'm actually holding my breath around this first curve. While everybody else is expending their energy and their oxygen, I am just now getting started. Okay? This is why the backstretch is so powerful. This is why the backstretch was so powerful. As I'm running along this backstretch, I am slowly but surely letting air out through my nose, okay? While everybody else is and they're tired, okay? You're running alongside people and they're tired, and you're trying to put them on your back and you're trying to carry them along with you. Let me say this to you. Let me pause at this statement. Everybody that you thought was going to move with you to the next level, they're not going. They're not going. Listen, everybody that started the race with you won't be the ones that finish the race. Man, everybody that starts this race with you will not finish the race with you. And it's a clear indication that they won't finish the race because they won't do the things that's required in order to get the results that they said that they wanted when you first sat down with them and said, why are you doing this? It's painful sometimes, because in order to get results in this industry, you have to be able to cut people go sometime. Love them at a distance. Are y'all hearing me? So this is what happened. During that backstretch, while everybody else is giving everything they got, they gave everything they got on that backstretch, I'm slowly but surely letting my air out. Okay, while they've already expended it here. And so as I'm letting my air out here, they're already on their second wind before they come out of that first curve. Me, I'm just getting started. So I'm in my first wind right now. Is this making sense? Now, don't miss this, okay? Because this is where I can almost guarantee somebody that's looking at this right now, this is where you are right now, okay? Here is why this is so critical. Here's why now is not the time to throw in the towel. Here is why you need to get that first win and get yourself back in the saddle, because in this area right here is the most dangerous area of the track. This was the most dangerous area of the track because in this area where most people see that final curve coming around, what I psychologically conditioned myself to be faced with is something that all track runners know this, okay? If you ran track on here, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. But here is where we call the bear. The bear was right there, right? Now, everybody knew around that second curve, if you had nothing left, you were done right here. If you had nothing left to come around to the finish line, you were done right here. Now, why did they call it the bear? They call it the bear because after you've expended so much energy trying to locate that squirrel and follow that squirrel and do this and do that because somebody said this works or somebody said try this product or somebody said put this package together, then you realize that you're distracted from the basic things that's gotten you in the race in the first place. So, that bear says, let me test your resolve. The bear says, let me test your grit. The bear says, let me test your perseverance and your tenacity. The bear says, let me test your patience. The bear says, how bad do you want this? Because here's what the bear does. When you reach this second curve here, the bear is waiting for you to cross that curve. And the bear's responsibility is to literally jump on your back. Literally jump on your back. All track runners know that when you get to this portion, your legs start to burn a little bit. It just don't seem like you can move those arms anymore. Like it's not possible to give any more than what you've been given. But here is something that our coach would do at a distance, and it absolutely revolutionized the way we ran track. At this point, he can be on the other side of the field, ladies and gentlemen, and he will yell out one word that everyone on our team knew: it's time to shift. It's time to shift. And here's what he said. M-O-V-E. Move. Move. You can hear him at the other end of the track. Move. Move. You heard it all the way. I don't care how large the field was. You heard it. Move. Move. Now, here's what's interesting. Everybody else that we were running against, they also heard move. Watch this. When they heard move, they thought he meant go faster. So their strategy began to shift, but in the wrong direction. So when they heard move, they heard run faster. When I heard move, here's what I heard: get your knees up. Why? Because remember, at the bear, it's going to jump on your back and it's going to weigh you down and your legs going to burn and it's going to feel like you can't move anymore. Here's what happens though. When you get those knees up and you're just pumping, I mean, you just rolling, you just going, you getting those knees up, what happens is that you're getting the oxygen to flow back into the bloodstream. Now the burning sensation begins to go away, and by default, you begin to run a little faster. You got to switch up your strategy when you're starting to be, when you're starting to entertain throwing in the towel. So here's what's happening. I want to give you an easy way to remember move, okay? You write this down on your paper. Move stands for managing obstacles and gaining victorious experiences. Move. Move stands for managing obstacles and gaining victorious experiences, right? So here's the deal. Again, when our coach was telling us to move, he was telling us to switch up the strategy. Why? Because everybody else is about to kick it into gear and they're getting ready to just expend everything they got. But when we heard it, we said, manage the obstacle of that bear. Manage this and gain a victorious experience by getting your knees up so you no longer have to run the race that everybody else is running. Listen, stop running the race that everybody else is running. This is your race. This is your race. It doesn't matter if somebody quit on you. It doesn't matter if your family is not on board anymore. It doesn't matter if people are not ordering the product or not offering or asking for your service anymore. It doesn't matter. Listen, manage the obstacle, and gain a victorious experience. And the only way you're going to do that is you're going to have to face that bear. You're going to have to get that bear off your back. You're going to have to bring those knees up and get the oxygen to flow again. Otherwise, you're going to start entertaining the thought of throwing in the towel. See, some of you guys right now are ready to throw in the towel because you're not seeing results in meeting your goal, whatever that is, whether it's personal, whether it's business, whatever it is, whether it's in your relationship. You're ready to throw in the towel because you've allowed the bear to grab hold of your back and he's putting a burning sensation on your legs. But here's what happens. The bear can't hold on for too long. Why? Because even the bear's stamina is limited. Even the bear's stamina is limited. And so as you're getting your knees up, that bear realizes that he's losing his grip. Why? Because there's another level of focus that you have. There's another level of grit. There's another level of strength. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. Right? Count it all joy when you're bumping into the obstacles. Count it all joy when money is low. Oh, man. Count it all joy when people dogging you out. Count it all joy when you look at your business and it looks like it's on the decline. Why? Because the trying of your faith worketh patience. But it also says, let patience have its perfect work. In other words, allow it to run the course. Go through this thing. Manage the obstacle and gain the victorious experience. Because see, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This victorious experience is not possible if you don't get your knees up and come around this last curve. You got to come around the last curve. Everybody else, they're looking at the start line, which is also by default the finish line. Now here's what's interesting. When you run track and the momentum is so strong, where you've kicked that bear off of your back, you've gotten your knees up and you got him off of your back, what happens is this. You begin to bring in that last curve with a level of strength that you've never seen before in your life. And the momentum is carrying you so amazingly. Here's what happens. When everybody else is focused on the finish line, the momentum has carried you past the finish line and you're doing it one more time. It's absolutely amazing when you have expended everything you got in order to get this bear off your back. The bear is going to drop off about right here if you got your knees up. The bear is going to drop off about right here if you stop listening to the haters. If you stop listening to the individuals that says it will never happen. If you stop listening to the lack of your financial stability right now. That's nothing but a distraction. See, some of you guys are struggling financially. That's your bear. Some of you guys are struggling in your relationship. That is your bear. Some of you guys are struggling emotionally. That is your bear. I struggled just the past week with my health. That was my bear. But I had to get my knees up. I had to look at my family. I had to look at the reason that I'm doing this. And I said, Mike, get your knees up. Y'all don't get it. I said, Mike, get your knees up. It's not time to throw in the towel yet. Listen, y'all, I'm laying in the hospital bed. IV in my arm. Don't have a clue on what's going on with me. I'm at church and the room is spinning. I'm dizzy. My wife says I could barely walk. I'm being rushed to the hospital on Sunday afternoon. I'm off work all week, and all I could think about was legacy. All I could think about was the foundation that I said I was going to set for my family so they'll never have to struggle a day in their life. My health was my bear. And I remember my coach saying, Mike, move. I remember him saying that if you don't get your knees up, you're going to lay in this hospital bed complaining that nothing ever goes right for you. You're going to lay in this hospital bed and say, maybe this is it. I'm telling y'all, I entertained the thought. I've never in my life, I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. I've never in my life saw things pass before my eyes the way that I did. I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm in the passenger seat, and my wife don't know this, but I'm in the passenger seat crying, not because I'm in pain. It's because I didn't know. I didn't know if this bear was getting ready to take me out. This has never happened to me before. Manage the obstacles and you gain victorious experiences. And so when I was released from the hospital that night, thank God, when I was released from the hospital, I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. I get home and the bear is waiting for me at the door. The bear is waiting for me to see if I still got the resolve to keep pushing. Because as soon as I stepped foot in the house, I got dizzy all over again. And my energy left me completely. And I knew that it was time for me to get my knees up one more time. It was time for me to release this burning sensation that was shooting through my legs and just fight for this one more time. Because I knew that as I was walking through the door, I seen my two little sons looking at me and said, "Daddy, are you okay?" I had to get my knees up. I had to look this bear in the face and say, not today. It's not happening. And so I decided that I was going to shift my focus. And right now, I'm telling you, I'm relentless. If you're ready to roll, now is the time to jump on the saddle and get ready to roll. Because I'm telling you, I'm not stopping here. That's not my end goal, ladies and gentlemen, and it bet not be yours. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that the prize that you're looking for is not here. The prize that you're looking for is on the second round. It's on the second lap. It's on that third lap. It's on that fourth lap. It's on that one more time. It's on that one more time. But all of you that got your towel in your hand right now and you're saying, this is it for me. I'm done. I don't want this anymore. It's no longer worth it. I'm telling you, you are getting ready to miss out on one of the biggest movements and shifts in your life. You got your towel in your hand and you're ready to throw it in the ring and say, I'm done. I surrender everything and I quit. The only way that you're going to fail in your life and meeting your goals and meeting whatever it is that's before you is if you quit. And I'm telling you, I'm not in the company of quitters. There's a process to quitting. And the first step is when you grab that towel in your hand and you put it in the air, getting ready to throw it. But then you have a crazy clown like me that says, put that towel down, because you got more going for you than you have going against you. As a matter of fact, let me take the towel from you and let me carry the towel, because I'm telling you, that bear knows who I am. That bear knows me. And that bear knows that at the very second that I come around that curve, see, I already see the bear. I already see the bear of financial lack trying to creep in. I already see the bear of relationship problems trying to creep in. I already seen the bear of health creeping in. I've already seen the bear of not meeting a goal. I've already seen the bear. I know what it looks like. And the bear won't get me. And I won't let it get you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time to roll. Take that towel, put it in your back pocket, wipe off the sweat and put it in your back pocket. Get them knees up and let's get ready to run. Let's get ready to run, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is it. This is it. The gun has gone off. We're in the backstretch. We're slowly letting out the wind. We're slowly letting out that oxygen so we can recuperate during the time that it's the toughest. It's the time that it's the toughest that you need to recuperate and get that second wind and say, I will not lose. My son posted something on Facebook the other day and it brought me to tears. He said, quitting is not an option. We just took our son to Kentucky State. And to see the growth in my son, I thank God that I got my knees up. Because now it's starting to sink in. And when I saw my son post that quitting is not an option, then it gave me a little bit more fight to say quitting is not an option. He called me the day after I got out the hospital and he said, Dad, how you doing? And I said, son, I'm okay. I won't lose. I won't lose. These are not tears of fear, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, these are tears of an undying commitment to build a legacy for the generations that follow. I'm asking you, are you ready to get that bear off of your back? Are you ready to get your knees up? And are you ready to go a whole nother lap? If you are, then we ready to run. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I would not be long, but I had to get this to you. Manage the obstacles and gain victorious experiences. Count it all joy, because on the other side of what you're going through, you will never, ever lack for anything ever again. We love you guys. We trust you. We honor you. And understand this. When you are living in your purpose, there's no such thing as competition. We'll see you on the second lap. God bless you.